Excellent. Right. Well, a very warm welcome to you all. For those who don't know me, I'm Nicola Enoch and I'm the founder and CEO of Down Syndrome UK. Just to explain, Down Syndrome UK is our registered charity name, and that's the sort of umbrella organisation under which we have various initiatives. And the main one, which most of you will have connected with us through, is PADS, Positive About Down Syndrome. So that's who we are. And if you wouldn't mind slipping onto the next slide, please, Becky, you're in control. Please, thank you very much. So I got involved primarily, well, basically because I'm parent to Tom, who's now 21 years of age. And there's just a selection of photos of his sort of key stages in his life, starting at primary and then secondary school. Tom's now qualified as a fitness coach and lives in his own house, moved there this June, and is absolutely loving his life. I think it's fair to say when he arrived 21 years ago, I struggled with the diagnosis and the lack of support and contemporary information that was available to me. And a year later, in 2006, I set up a local group up here in Warwickshire. And it was through running that for the past how many years that I realised sort of some of the gaps that were missing nationally. And so set up PADS, first of all, just to provide information and support to new parents. And that's evolved over the years to now be DSUK, working with over 5,000 parents across the UK. Thank you, Becky. So as a charity, we offer a whole range of services. I imagine most of you will have probably connected with us via the support we provide in closed Facebook groups, starting from Great Expectations. We receive women with a high chance or confirmed diagnosis of their baby having Down syndrome, and at any one time we have about 100 women in there, right through the ages, because obviously as parent to a young adult, I've been running these groups for many years, and so we have groups. So I hope that's kind of reassuring for you, that the support goes on through to, we're doing services now around living and social care assessments and so on. So support's a huge part of what we provide. Peer support, I think, is invaluable, but we also have a lot of experts on hand. Being a parent myself, and the charity is predominantly sort of parent-led, we really understand how our parents are often feeling, the concerns they may have, but also the lack of services and support that all too often prevail. So as a charity, we work really hard to address those gaps. We offer counselling to new parents, perhaps those who are struggling with diagnosis. We provide a huge amount of training from healthcare professionals. We have a training manager who delivers training to predominantly midwives, through to Becky's joined us to deliver training in education. Makaton is the communication support that we provide training, sessions to our new parents, also to grandparents, preschools and nurseries. We provide tons and tons of information and loads of resources. We also do campaign and work with organisations like Royal College of Midwives, and with another hat on, the policy group got the Down Syndrome Act through Parliament in 2022. So that's a brief overview of the sort of general services that we provide. Some services that may be of particular interest to those parents who are quite new. I appreciate we've got families here potentially from little ones a few weeks old through to 4 rising 5-year-olds. We have a Heart Buddy scheme, which is for those parents whose little one requires heart surgery. And we do a lot of work around breastfeeding. I was fed up a few years ago of hearing all these expectant women and very new parents being told their baby wouldn't breastfeed purely because of having Down syndrome. So we've undertaken research, we've published that, we've produced a guide, we deliver training, and we have a breastfeeding supporter, Sarah, who we fund to deliver training and support to our families. Thank you. Of an evening like this session, we have a really, as you can see there, comprehensive range of information sharing sessions. So these are very much parent focused. I'm a huge believer in knowledge is power, and we really want to provide you as parents with the sort of knowledge and perhaps the confidence around some of the issues that our children may face. So, the last thing I want to do is sort of overwhelm anyone, particularly a new parent. Your baby or little one is not going to require all of these, but we provide as comprehensive a program as we can in order to support as many families as we can. But I mean, Becky will tell you towards the end about sort of how to connect with us to make sure you receive information, because we're literally running at least a session a week, it feels like anyway. So that's one selection. Well, not a selection, that's probably most of the sessions that we run. They're typically like this evening, 8 o'clock, generally recorded. So if you do miss them, you can pick up and watch them later at your convenience. Thank you, Becky. In addition to those, there are sort of a few areas that perhaps are slightly more prevalent in our community. Constipation is something that I've discovered a lot of our little ones will suffer from. I think we undertook a brief sort of straw poll, and it was over 70% of our parents advised that their baby with Down syndrome suffered at some point from constipation. So we really, we run regular sessions on that to equip you so that you kind of know what the signs are to look out for. Obviously, as little ones start weaning, that can become an issue. Tube feeding, I've just been so fed up with the lack of support that's provided to our parents. So that's another group we have. I think it's about 3% of our community, our little ones will be born with Hirschsprung's or another ARM. So we have a closed group for that. And infantile spasms is something else that, again, just 3% or so of our community, but we want, again, to be able to provide you with information and support. So then some of the sort of slightly more niche groups of support that we provide. Thank you. Toilet training is a really successful program we developed with an expert, June Rogers. That comes under our initiative, Pants for School. So we launched that, I think, about 5 years ago now. I lose track of time. These photos on the left is Lucy. At the time, I think she was about 14 months of age. Her mum started following our toilet training program. We sort of advocate from when little ones are sort of weaning and just starting to sit up, often will require support to assist them on being sat on the potty. So that's her at about 14 months to more recently. She came out of nappies before her 4th birthday and has been dry since. So our toilet training program, people are often amazed at just, it's about having high expectations for our children. But there's a closed Facebook group called DSUK, Pants for School, that I'd recommend you all join and just start to look. It doesn't mean you remove the nappy at 10 months of age. It means you start the 4-step program. And we also hold regular boot camps for those parents as their child's sort of progressing through the 4 steps. Perhaps if they need some sort of more focused support, then they can sign up to a boot camp along with perhaps, I think it's about 20 other families. So possibly some of you, if you're slightly parents of slightly older children, I think we have a boot camp starting in November for toilet training. Thank you, Becky. A couple of, I think newish, but actually time flies, doesn't it? DLA. So we know that we'd expect all of our children at some point to become eligible for DLA, Disability Living Allowance, which is a benefit that's paid to parents. Typically, we find the greatest success is perhaps when the child's sort of approaching a year old, unless the little one has quite significant additional health needs. So as a charity, we have developed a service so that you can watch video that's been created by a parent who used to work for the Department of Work and Pensions, and then you can access drop-in online Zoom sessions, which I think are kind of held alternately between a weekday morning or an evening session. EHCPs are education healthcare plans. These aren't required until sort of the year leading up to when your child's going to be starting school. It's something you need to think about. And again, this is a support service we provide that we fund an expert in her field. I've just opened a new group for those who are starting school in 2027, although it's not official yet. But that's, you know, as and when your child's approaching that age. It is England only, but we're able to provide you with support around that. I know you don't know what you don't know, and so that's a huge amount of what we're here to try and address. Thanks, Becky. PEGs and POPs. So PEGs are PADS early development groups, and these were developed with Becky back in 2021, I lose track, 2020. And there are online early development groups. A few local groups across the country are able to provide these in person, and if you can go to them, happy days. But if you can't, this is an online service that we provide, really, you know, from about the age of 6 months for your little one, to start encouraging activities that you can make as part of your everyday life, hopefully, just to encourage development across a whole range of skills. So it's really just about sort of guiding you around to support your child's development. POPs are our online physiotherapy sessions. We have, they did stop for a while due to some circumstances, but we're hoping to revive those in the new year, and there'll be online sessions with a paediatric physiotherapist who has extensive experience in working with children with Down syndrome. Thank you. I shall now hand over to my esteemed colleague, Becky Baxter.
Well, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about a couple of other things that we do. One is about our DSUK behaviour bootcamp. Nicola said about the information sessions that we do. So right from early on, we do a session about promoting communication in the early years, and then linking to promoting positive behaviour. Just want to be clear that not all children with Down syndrome go on to have challenges around behaviour, but we're often keen to communicate. We want to be interacting with others, but we don't have the speech and language skills yet, and that can lead to finding some other little strategies which get people to come and talk to you. So it's all about kind of putting in those communication supports early on. If you are having some unwanted behaviours and not quite sure how to address those, we do have this bootcamp which includes 2 pre-recorded sessions. So you get a bit of information before we get started around promoting positive behaviour. We then have 4 live sessions where we have a small group of parents, typically around 12 to 15, and we all meet once a week for 4 weeks. Those sessions aren't recorded, and in those sessions we really discuss creating a positive behaviour plan so people have a clear idea about how to manage behaviour, how to prevent behaviour happening in the first place, and also the importance of teaching replacement behaviours. So do a behaviour plan, ABC chart, which is just about recording some examples of things that you'd like to change. And then the final session is bringing that all together. So that's another service that we offer. And then I wanted to just tell you a little bit about our service for preschool professionals. So if your child is at a nursery or a preschool or with a childminder, we have our early years development programme, which we launched last September, October time, really, in its full form. Is a comprehensive package of information, guidance and ongoing support for any of the professionals working with your child in those early years settings. There's a yearly subscription, so it's £200 from the day that you sign up. So if you signed up, if they signed up tomorrow on the 16th of October, they'd have access right round until the 15th of October next year. And they sign up as a setting for that charge, and then they can add as many staff in that setting as they like. And really what we've tried to do with our EYDP programme is to kind of make a one-stop shop for professionals. So rather than having to go out and find, can I find some information around vision and Down syndrome? Or can I find some information about toilet training and Down syndrome? Or where do I go to find? It's all brought together there. So we've worked really closely with experts to record information sessions, to produce resources for us, guidance information sheets. So there's pre-recorded information on there for preschool staff to access at a time that's convenient for you. There's also video guidance on activities, so what they can practically be doing with your child. A little bit similarly, I guess, to the PEGS programme that Nicola was talking about for parents. This is kind of our offer to those professionals. So very much links together, lots of crossover in the information. They get a toolkit of resources for that cost, so a printed kit arrives in their setting, and we offer ongoing support. So at the moment we have monthly drop-in sessions where staff can come along and ask any questions that they might have. And as new for this term, we have an accredited training course available in terms of CPD development. So you may well want to signpost your early years professionals to there. There's just kind of an example. So if you were to click on communication on those under speech, language and communication, there's a section on communication. You would have these activity videos, you would have the resources that link to that activity video underneath. You get these printed resources, and you also can download second copies from the website. And then just to also let you know that this term we have offered and developed a new training course specifically for speech and language therapists working with individuals with Down syndrome. So we ran an overview session around the profile of speech and language difficulties, speech and language profile associated with Down syndrome. And we're now running 3 slightly more in-depth sessions. They're an hour and a half online for speech and language therapists. The first one around promoting and developing speech skills, which we've already had. The second one around developing vocabulary and syntax, and the third one around supporting communication and social strengths. We're really pleased with the uptake of the course. However, we're always willing to train some more people. So in a second, I shall tell you what we would like you to do. Here we go. So in order to make sure that you are kept up to date with kind of all the information that we're offering, the information sharing sessions that are going on, what new services we're launching, and any support that may be of interest to you, really kind of based on the age and stage of your child. So we'll be signposting you to kind of those preschool topics. If you sign up to the parent portal, so you go onto the website and create an account if you've already got one. Don't forget to kind of keep that one up to date. You can join the Facebook groups, which Nicola will know far more about than me, or follow us on social media. The other thing, or the kind of key thing that we'd like to ask you today, is if you would like support or you would like to encourage your preschool setting to access that support, there is a link there, and Nicola said about it's shared in the chat with you. If you complete that with your with the contact details of those professionals who are working with your child, we will email them the key information around be our early years development program, and also there's details in there to put in your speech and language therapist, and we will email them the details of that course that they may well be very interested and relevant to them if they're working with children with Down syndrome. Right, I think that is everything.